you just look at these breasts.
From local radio to local shops, heavy drinking and hospital beds. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 cult British sitcoms.
Why do you even want to get back with her? She was really starting to annoy you.
That was before we stopped going out.
Oh, right, so now she's finished with you, suddenly you're in love with her again.
Exactly. Duh. That's how love works, Mark.
Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, please subscribe for more great content. For this list, we've gathered some unconventional comedies for a strange and surreal look at the finest and funniest UK shows. All of today's entries boast a dedicated fanbase, but if classic comedies are more your thing, or you have a liking for modern greats, then be sure to check out our other videos to satisfy your sitcom urges.
Bloody hell.
Number 10, The Mighty Boosh.
There was rumours. I don't know what those rumours were. I don't care to know.
That you were bombing him.
Yeah, whatever. Stupid rumours.
We start as we mean to go on, with off-the-wall humour and confusing but quotable jokes. The Mighty Boosh is a 3-series sojourn through space and time, spearheaded by Julian Barrett and Noel Fielding, the most prominent figures in the titular comedy troupe.
I mean, what are we going to do with your hair?
What's wrong with it?
It's a bit thin, isn't it?
It's not thin. It's fine.
Oh, you're not joking. Can't even feel it. It's like brown smoke.
A mystical musical celebration of silliness, it sees Howard Moon and Vince Noir muddle through misadventures in the Zooniverse in Season 1, struggle to get their band off the ground in Season 2, and expertly mismanage the Naboutique in their 3rd run. We can also thank Boosh for the crimp, an unorthodox brand of cappella music which, if you haven't heard already, will quickly become your new favourite thing.
Crimpety, crimpety, now, crimpety, crimpety, ask me how, crimpety, crimpety, humble pie, crimpety, crimpety.
Number 9, Nighty Night.
What is this?
That's just a kitten in a basket.
I meant the mess behind.
From its opening scene, it's very clear that Nighty Night knows very few boundaries. Kicking off with a cancer diagnosis, writer and creator Julia Davis gets very dark very quickly for a show which sees the wife of a terminally ill man break every moral code going. Jill plays the widow but wants her husband to die, and with Terry's condition gradually improving throughout the series, she pulls out all the stops to get her way.
When you say receded...
Got smaller.
Smaller... right...
Season 2 sees Jill further pit her wayward wits against Kath, an MS sufferer and wife to Don, who's played by Angus Dayton and is the apple of Jill's eye. It's definitely not for the easily offended, but TV sociopaths are rarely better than this.
Because given the opportunity, Tammy, I will take it up the rear till I am blue in the face.
Jill.
Number 8, Black Books.
What are you eating?
It's some sort of delicious biscuit.
It's a coaster.
As a 2-time BAFTA winner and receiver of widespread acclaim, Black Books is one of the biggest critical successes to make today's countdown. A show created by Dylan Moran and Graham Linehan, it centres on the day-to-day lives of bookshop owner Bernard Black, his accountant turned assistant Manny, and his only friend Fran.
Thing is, right, this bloke behind me, right, behind me.
Don't look.
I reckon he's got a shooter.
He's 100 years old.
As Bernard's shop slowly falls victim to waning sales, pest invasions, and his own intolerance for customers, it falls to Manny and Fran to try and interject some enthusiasm into the place. But Bernard is having none of it. A moany, groany, delightfully downbeat meander through the world of retail and the seemingly doomed plight of a print media salesman, Black Books hits exactly the right note. Number 7, The Thick of It.
I hate school children. They're volatile and stupid and they haven't got the vote. Might as well be talking to geese.
If you've ever wondered about the inner workings of government and your local legislation has left you struggling to find the right swear word, then The Thick of It should be right up your sitcom street. The show uncovers an inside story to British party politics and its routinely problematic relationship with the media, the workforce, and the general public. Largely centred on the fictional Department of Social Affairs and Citizenship, the show's most famous son is the formidable Malcolm Tucker, a savage spin doctor and overall enforcer.
The best way to cure a paper jam?
I don't know. Kill a kid an hour until it sorts itself out.
Not since Shakespeare has one man magicked so many new words, only most of Malcolm's are outrageously offensive. Omni Shambles did make it to the OED though, so good for him.
Yeah, I know you.
You know Jack Chan about me.
Number 6, The Young Ones.
Why don't you like me?
Because you're a complete bastard.
A crop of unruly undergrads, a bleak and soiled student house, occasional outbreaks of extreme violence, regular performances by leading rock bands. The Young Ones doesn't comply with typical sitcom conventions, but it led the way for alternative comedy in the early 80s. Vivian, Rick, Neil and Mike are thrown together for the sake of their education, but chaos quickly descends, with Aid Edmondson's iconic punk usually at the centre of it.
Hello, Vivian.
Piss off!
The show served as a springboard for Rick Mayall too, who co-wrote and starred, while the guest cast list reads like a who's who of comedy at the time. From male pregnancies to casual decapitations and not so hardcore parties, this show sure raised some hell.
Do not lean out of the window! I wonder why.
Number 5, I'm Alan Partridge.
Have you ever thought that suicide might be the answer?
Well, sometimes, aye.
Really? When?
Well, when I've seen you looking all depressed and that, you know.
Not me.
You'd be hard-pushed to find a more endlessly quotable comedy character than Steve Coogan's Alan Partridge. A spoof radio star turned TV icon, he's unashamedly narcissistic and obliviously out of touch. But that's exactly why we love him. With 2 series released 5 years apart, I'm Alan Partridge sees the serial showman struggle with the low points of his life.
Go see my brother.
In no way, you big spastic, you're a mentalist!
Whether he's working the graveyard shift on local Radio Norwich, or recovering from an off-screen mental breakdown and Toblerone addiction, the trademark smirk rarely wavers and the Partridgeisms flow freely. He lives in a hotel, he can definitely tell entertaining anecdotes, and he doesn't like Joni Mitchell. But he's Alan Partridge, and he can do what he wants.
Needless to say, I had the last laugh. Now f*** off.
Number 4, absolutely fabulous.
Fat butt, huh? Oh, the planet Jupiter and its moons. A galaxy of excess flubber.
Staying on top of the latest trends is a tough business, but Ab Fab's Eddie and Patsy have devoted their lives to it nonetheless. That and heavy drinking. Jennifer Saunders and Joanna Lumley star as the have-a-go socialites, hell-bent on staying cool no matter what the cost. With only Eddie's daughter Safi to offer any semblance of normality, they're a double act always one drink away from disaster. And it's so easy to get hooked on their melodramatic misadventures.
Shall we light up?
So if you haven't already, best notify your next of kin, invite them all round and take inspiration from Eddie and Patsy's liquor habit and binge the entire show. You won't regret it.
What do you see when you look in the mirror, darling?
Me looking fabulous. What do you see?
Number 3, The League of Gentlemen.
It's all right, I've got my mobile. Just needs charging. Can you show me where your points are?
Not to be confused with the similarly named Sean Connery film, The League of Gentlemen is black comedy at its brutal best. It started on the stage before converting to TV around the turn of the century, skirting the line between weird sketch show and even weirder sitcom. The surreal action takes place in Royston Vasey, a closed-off community unlike any other. Every character, regardless of gender, is played by the show's 4 male writers, and almost everyone has strange or sinister intentions at their core. A self-confessed local place for local people, the town sign warns you'll never leave. But if close-to-the-bone comedy is your jam, then why would you want to?
And I am your restart officer. So sit down, shut up, and start learning.
Number 2, Spaced.
Mike, I really am not in the...
Oh, shit!
Edgar Wright takes the director's chair for this early Simon Pegg and Jessica Hines comedy, and a stylized trip into the lives and minds of 2 20-somethings trying to find ways to kill time in their small city flat. Tim and Daisy meet following a random encounter while separately house hunting, and decide to pitch up together in a bid to find a better place.
Hi, we're...
A couple.
Various friends, lovers, and lodgers stop by to spice things up as well, for a series packed with pop culture references, deep and meaningful conversations, and drug-induced daytime raving. It's today's runner-up, and Tim's packing Jaffa cakes to celebrate. Before we reveal our top pick, here's a few honourable mentions.
I'm in you, girl.
No trace of semen on the body.
That's what I look like in a hat. And now we're entering the
incident
room.
I'm a one-track lover, down a two-way lane, driving fast down the highway, must have been insane.
So, in your state, what you've probably forgotten is that you're actually quite shit at this sort of thing.
Even someone who was dead and had already been cremated would still be fully aware that I am better at this than you.
Number 1, Red Dwarf.
Humans? The Vindelian people despise all humans. They are the vermin of the universe. Is that not right, Bindi Badgie?
Sci-fi meets sitcom for today's winner, with a cult following to trounce anything else in the universe. Red Dwarf first took flight in 1988, with 8 series completing an original run which lasted over a decade. The show sees the crew of the eponymous spaceship travel through galaxies encountering otherworldly creatures, while the spaced-up setting proves backdrop for some spectacular onboard bickering, especially between Craig Charles's Lister and Chris Barry's Rimmer.
He's a smig.
The service mechanoid Crichton is another inexhaustible resource for funniness, even if he is hardwired to keep it clean. Well-received reboots in 2012 and 2016 prove it once and for all, Red Dwarf is still the best smegging show on TV.
He's Arnold, Rimmer. Without him, life would be much grimmer.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK and subscribe for more great content.